Today we're going to be talking about the interview that broke the internet. Katt Williams recently did an interview on Shay Shay, on Club Shay Shay, and it went completely viral. It broke all kinds of records. In 3 days, it had something like 27 million views, and I believe Joe Rogan has a record of 32 million views on one of his videos, but it was in the span of 4 months, I believe. And I think there's another video that has like 54 million views. But this man broke the internet. Let's talk about it. I created this channel with the intent to bring a Christian biblical perspective onto worldly things. And without any further ado, let's jump into it. So, Katt Williams, the great Katt Williams, broke the internet earlier this week, with this interview on Club Shay Shay that so far, I believe it has about 32 million views, I believe. And I believe it just broke one of Joe Rogan's record, which he had an interview go. I think he has one that has like 50 something million views, but one of his interviews has 32 million views, but it was in a span of like four months, I believe, that it accumulated 32 million views. And this Katt Williams interview just completely took the internet by storm. It got 32 million views in the span of 4 days, I believe. And he did not go light or easy on these people. He went in on all these people. He went in on everyone. Chris Tucker, Kevin Hart, Chris Rock, Cedric the Entertainer, Ricky Smiley. He went on, and he just, Kim Kardashian, like all these people got it. He went on and all these people. So much so that a lot of these people were clapping back at him. A lot of them were like making videos, trying to, I won't even say explain themselves, but they're making videos talking about what he did. And I'll play you guys some of these videos today. But the funny thing to me is none of these people denied it. There was not one that denied all the stuff that he said about them. How they're plants for the industry, how they all work together, how they've all been set up by these people and they're owned by these people, how they are controlled, and that all they do is it's controlled by the people in control. But I want to play you guys a part of the interview today that stood out to me, and let's jump into it.
Let's get to your upbringing. Born in Cincinnati, Ohio, raised in Dayton, Ohio. What was Katt Williams' upbringing like? Your parents were Jehovah's Witness. You were a prodigy. You were brilliant. You talked to me that you got accepted to college at 7 years of age. You could read fluently at 3 years of age. So having that kind of knowledge, having that kind of prodigy, what was your upbringing? How was it? How was life as Katt Williams coming up?
I was often confused because I knew things and I wasn't sure how I knew them. I knew things that I felt like I don't have a reason that I know this, but I love to read. I was voracious because they told me when I was young that knowledge was powerful. That knowledge was power, and I had studied powerful people, and I really believed that. I immediately, my next project was to read the whole encyclopedia set. So when you're like 6, 7 years old, you read the whole encyclopedia set, you think you're one of the smartest people in the world,
right,
only to get out in the world and find out you don't know anything, you know? So it was a confusing time, but yeah, I had a childhood. I was grown, but I at 5 years old, I was in front of 10,000 people giving a performance with a full suit and tie on. You know what I mean? So it came full circle for my life. I knew that the applause and the giving of information and laughs and truth to people somehow benefited them and also benefited you. And yeah, so when they would ask me what I wanted to be, everything that I would say that I wanted to be was something that didn't exist. And they would never give me credit for it because I needed to say a doctor or a lawyer, but that's not what I wanted to be.
So your parents weren't as supportive as you would have hoped because you were wanting to be things when you got older that they had no knowledge of, or it didn't exist at the time?
No, it wasn't that. It was, I'm saying I'm almost 100 years old right now, but if we go outside right now, I can run a 4.340 or sub. I can do a 4.16 if I'm
there's
short.
Jimmy John's across the street. We can order a sub.
But
you've been on the submarine. That what you sub?
So back then it was even greater. So you got this guy that all the coaches want to play.
Man, Katt, don't do that.
Hold on, because I'm 5'5" in the 5th grade. I've been this high my whole life. Like, there was a portion of school where I was one of the big dudes. Like, as soon as everybody caught their growth spurt, I was out of there. But I'm saying I was a competitive individual. My father was an athlete.
I can see that.
Like, no, I've been 145 pounds my whole career. That's why I never bothered when they said, your Katt's on drugs. I knew, how you gonna prove that? My body is a temple.
I've been the same.
I will say this. I've been a Katt Williams fan for a very long time. Now, is he on... I don't think he's on drugs here. Now, speaking to the fact that people say that he was on drugs, he's had some questionable incidents in the past. And on one of them, we were supposed to go see him in Oakland, and I ended up not making it, but my brother... It was supposed to be me and my brother. And my brother actually went. And keep in mind, I am a big fan of Katt. And not throwing shade, but like I said, we don't know these people. I can attest to the fact that he was or he wasn't on drugs. But he did show up to the show. And I believe he was intoxicated. I don't know with what. And he started his stand-up probably about 5 minutes in. He just went off on the people there. And he ended up saying a bunch of stuff to people, cursing people out. Told people that they should have been happy that they were able to be there in his presence or something like that. I wasn't there, but this is what my brother told me. And eventually he just walked off stage, not even 15 minutes into the show. And supposedly later on we heard that there was a fight outside of the event, and that he hit some guy with the champagne bottle and told the guy that the guy should have been happy that it was a very expensive champagne bottle. Now, this is all allegedly. I don't know to what extent this is true. I know it's true, the fact that they gave us the money back because there was no show. Now, there was another incident of when he got in a fight with a teenager. I'll play you guys a video.
Are you ready to stop me on the point? Look at this. Somebody come look at this. Look at this. Somebody come and look at this. Look at this. Goddamn. Oh, you can get your...
Now, I got handed to Katt. Very talented guy. I honestly, for me, one of the best stand-up comedians out there. The guy's insane. Gives it his all. And outside of these things, I don't know. I've never heard of him doing anything other than not doing anything to where he was not showing up or doing or not doing what he was supposed to because of drugs. Again, we don't really know these people, and all we have is the information that's presented to us and that's in front of us. But let's keep watching the interview. I want to focus on the first part of the interview where he grew up Jehovah Witnesses, and as many of you know, they have some different beliefs than we do, but as Christians, right? But they do have sort of the same baseline belief. And with that said, Katt Williams I have heard many great stories about him to where he actually gave Melba Moore. He was the one that paid for her to get her start in the Walk of Fame. And he actually mentions this in this interview. Reason being is she was never acknowledged as one of the greats just because she didn't fit the whole Hollywood dynamic. She wasn't up to their standards in beauty and whatever else they judged them on to get a star in the Walk of Fame. But he ended up purchasing her to start. There's also many stories about him sending extra money to comedians that actually do really well in the stand-up. He always tours with a bunch of different comedians. He does mention this in this interview as well. About 46 different comedians. And then a lot of these comedians, they have said that, not him personally, but he sends the girls that work for him to bring them money, extra money when they do really well. And he always makes sure that he tells them, like, that was great. That was a killer. You killed it in that set. And you know people by their fruits, but like I said, all we can go on is it's all based on the information that we have at hand. I will say this, Katt was very coherent, well-spoken and certain in his interview with Shay Shay. He spoke with conviction and intention, while also being entertaining. I saw some people say that it was from a bitter place or he was inebriated or mental illness. It's mostly because he mainly talk about a lot of people that people idolize, because we've been sold the idea that these people that we don't know but we really like. We need to stop worshiping these people, giving them all this influence over us. And at the end of the day, they're just people like you and me. At some point, I feel like these people believe that they are some sort of gods. There's even been times where a lot of celebrities in politics uttered that they are above us common folk because they achieve money, fame, and because the love of money in the world has made you look at these people like a god or an idol. So we need to stop idolizing these people. We need to stop worshiping these people, because they're not gods. They're just people like you and me. And with that said, I'll read this Bible verse for you guys. The idols of the nations are silver and gold, the work of human hands. They have mouths, but do not speak. They have eyes, but do not see. They have ears, but do not hear. Nor is there breath in their mouths. Those that make them become like them. So do all who trust in them. We make idols out of these people. We make God out of money, and we end up like worshiping these people like they're better, or because you think they have a certain lifestyle that you want because they have money and fame, and you end up worshiping these people, and that's not a place where we want to be. We need to only worship God. Now I like to play some of the more heavy stuff he said about some people, and just so you guys can get an idea about the whole interview.
The Chris Tucker that we got now is Epstein Island Chris Tucker, not Smokey.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
Woo. If I didn't know no.
I'll say this: at some points in the interview, Shannon had, he didn't know what to do. At some points, it was like, I don't even know where to go from here, because he's like, boy, you're getting me canceled, and no one is ever gonna come back on my podcast.
But I tell you, he's the greatest. I don't care what you say. To be confident and not delusional is a real skill. Most of these confident people we see is really delusional.
Well, you don't think they asked Chris Tucker to come back in the second Friday? Smokey was all in Smokey. There ain't no Friday without Smokey.
We all agree to that. And
Let me show you guys another clip of the interview so we can close this out.
all of these big dick deviants is all catching hell in 2024. It's up for all of them. It don't matter if you Diddy or whoever you is. TG Jakes, any of them. All lies will be exposed. That's all. And anyone who takes that the wrong way, know why they take it the wrong way. The truth is the light.
I need to have another one of these.
Amen, amen.
Gee. I kind of get one here.
Right.
After that, I don't really kind of know where to go. Let me one more time.
Right.
We good now?
Because the people want to know, well, why would he get blackballed?
Yeah.
Oh, because
I was gonna ask you that.
because in 30 years I've done nothing but collect information, knowledge, and your secrets. So if you and a man was in a corner doing something you wasn't supposed to be doing,
You will tell it.
no, somebody come to tell me.
Okay.
I gather that, I value that, I'll pay for that. Come, tell me. I know so many things I shouldn't know, and they all know it. They all know it. Why? Because you don't make me the villain. Not the guy that raises black children and ain't never done a hard drug in his life and don't have no stories of doing nobody dirty. And they'll just go out and they'll lie. What do you think a plant is? Maybe people don't understand the definitions of these words. He just did his documentary with Chris Rock where he shows you that his whole upbringing in comedy was on the East Coast.
Yeah, it was.
So how simultaneously was he here in Los Angeles doing the same thing? It didn't happen. It didn't happen. And I hate to seem like a petty individual for picking apart lies, but Jussie Smollett gonna keep lying until you say we don't believe you. Like, it's important in the checks and balances of the universe that liars not get to make complete narratives for themselves.
Are you not afraid about being blackballed again? These are some power people.
What do you mean again? These people are not powerful. Satan can't create anything. That includes blessings for his people. That's why, you know what the number one job of somebody that sold their soul in Hollywood is?
What?
Is to act like it didn't happen.
Now that's a gem. That is a gem. The number one job of someone who sold their soul is to act like they didn't sell their soul. That might have been the case before, but I think today the devil's so pushed on us by celebrities, by the music industry in general, I think they're honestly trying to normalize worshiping the devil. They're trying to normalize selling your soul for money and fame. We recently had what's his name, Bad Bunny, quit the music industry, and he said, and I quote a verse from the Bible that says, "What good is to win the world and lose your soul?" And he performed, and he said it was his last concert, it was his last show, because he was done with the industry. And if you know who he is, everything about him was about it was all like goats. Like his brand was based on the goat and goat head and just evil demonic symbolism. I will say this: the Bible says that in the end time there's gonna be an awakening, and I think that awakening is starting. I think a lot of people are waking up to the fact that we're trying to, and I don't know that a lot of those people are gonna actually convert, or that they will change, or that, but I think God uses people in any way he wants to. And even though they don't mean it, I think God still uses them. God uses them to use their reach to reach the people that he wants to reach. Because you have people like Tyrese today talking about, and I'll make a video about this later, but Tyrese talking about God all the time. Talking about how the devil's being normalized in Hollywood. You have Matthew McConaughey went on Joe Rogan and talked about God. Joe Rogan used to be an atheist that made fun of God, didn't believe in God. But today, like, if you see the way he speaks about God, or the way he speaks about the Bible and some of the stuff that's happening in the world today that links to the Bible, he's changing his point of view. And I believe that's all part of the awakening that's going to happen. And I think a lot of people are starting to wake up and see that what Hollywood has to offer is not the best. It's not what's the most important. And I get it. Having money is good. But money is not everything. And it does make life easier to have money. It does make things more accessible. It says the love of money is the root of all evil. I honestly believe that the people of God are starting to wake up and starting to stand up and starting to see where they're being manipulated and being deceived. There's also a verse in the Bible that says that. James 4:8 says, "You adulterous, disloyal sinners, flirting with the world and breaking your vow to God. Do you know that being the world's friend, that is, loving the things of this world, is being God's enemy? So whoever chooses to be a friend of the world makes himself an enemy of God." Also, James 6:1 says, "Do not let yourself be deceived." With that said, I think that people are starting to wake up to the deceit that is Hollywood and these celebrities, and idolizing and flirting with these things and making an enemy out of God. With that said, I'll end this video here. And as always, if you guys like this type of content, make sure you guys like and follow for more. We'll see you on the next one. Peace.